Clemens.
Local radio for you and your community. It's Civic Media's mission with stations across Wisconsin. Find your favorites at civicmedia.us.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Tonight, mostly cloudy, a low in the upper 20s. For tomorrow, sunshine returns and warmer, highs to the low 50s. And into the upper 50s and partly to mostly sunny Thursday. Mid-60s Friday with showers and storms late and breezy. Currently, it's 44 degrees.
The Todd Alba Show.
Trump and Vance verbally assaulted the president of Ukraine, an ally of the U.S. Trump defending the president of Russia, a known dictator. This is a complete capitulation to our sworn enemies. And it's time for Republicans, my former party that I left in 2011, to speak the hell up. Because if we don't, it's not going to be long before we don't have anything left to defend.
The Todd Alba Show. Weekdays noon till 2 on your local Civic Media radio station and on the app. Reviewing the week's legal news with a friend of the court.
Well, I'm looking forward to Saturday morning. I haven't missed one. Outstanding, just like being in school.
It has been a week in the areas of law and government and the aspiration for justice in America. As always, I am delighted. I am honored that you have chosen to spend some of your weekend time with me in discussion.
Amicus, a law review with Jim Santel. Saturday mornings from 9 to 11. Jane Matnair and Greg Bach.
Coming up on the show, Brad Schimmel says he'll be on the Wisconsin Supreme Court to support Don.
Broadcasting live statewide from the Civic Media Studios in Green Bay. This is Nite with Pete Schwaba, your inside source on everything entertainment from Wisconsin to Hollywood. And now, a guy who has a black and white plasma TV, Pete Schwaba.
Welcome to Nightlight, ladies and gentlemen. We are broadcasting the show live from Madison tonight, statewide, all over our beautiful state of Wisconsin. Hope you had a great day, whatever you chose to do today, whether it was work, play hooky, rob a liquor store. I just hope it was a great day, and I'm glad you're with us tonight, where we can kick back, talk about some of the more fun things in life. Got a good show tonight. No music, Conrad. This is the first time I think I haven't done music when I've been in Madison. There's so many great musicians here.
Yeah.
But we've got talkers tonight, and that'll be fun, too. Tim Sowers will be here at 6:35 talking about, he's the Chief Artistic Experiences Officer at the Overture Center, which is right across the street. I can see it from here, which is always fun, a beautiful facility. Tim joins us every once in a while and gives us an update on what is happening in the many theaters at the Overture Center. Just a stunning, beautiful facility. And he will tell us what's coming up. I want to ask him about, there's a really cool Neil Diamond show. And I'm going to ask Tim about that. That's one I think I'll probably go see. That's at 6:35. He'll be here in person, which is fun. And then at 7:05, comedian Frank Roach. He is an impressionist. And I think Frank lives in Wisconsin. I've never met Frank. He's a referral from Mike Mercury, who's been on the show several times. So I'm looking forward to meeting Frank at 7:05. He's gonna phone it in, Conrad, but that doesn't mean he's not gonna try. He's gonna be on the telephone.
Yeah.
Do you call it a telephone, or you just say phone? You've probably never even used the word telephone in your life.
I use the word phone.
Phone. Most people don't say telephone anymore. Where's my cellular telephone? I've never heard that phrase.
You're dating yourself there.
Well, I've never heard it. That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, I've heard telephone. We had a rotary dial when I was growing up. I don't go as far back as Pony Express, but we had a rotary dial. That's cute. Don't think I can't whip your ass because I'm in Madison, buddy. You ever had a long-distance ass whipping?
I can't say I have.
You're holding down the fort. When does gelato start again? It's nice there now, right?
It is, but it's still, you know what it is still?
Sad gelato. Yeah, I know. It's terrible. I wept openly when I went there in the fall and realized there was no more gelato. Thus, the sad gelato music that we put together there. Also, folks, we're going to talk a little film festival talk and movie making with a director from here in southern Wisconsin. I think Jeff actually lives in Baraboo, but he is coming into the studio here. I call him a Madison-based director, but he is also the founder of the Mental Health Warrior Film Festival. So we'll talk. I think that's so cool. They put the focus on mental health. The films, I believe, thematically involve mental health, and they have mental health speakers there. And let's be honest, most movie makers, as well as most people in society, have one mental health issue or another, whether serious or not so serious. We all deal with it. So it's a great event, and we'll talk to Jeff about that at 7:35. He'll be here in the studio. And this is the season for film festivals. The Green Bay Film Festival is this weekend, and we've had Nick Wattier on, who has talked about Nathan Deming's film February is in the Green Bay Film Festival. Dan Davies, who was on the show last night, will be at the Green Bay Film Festival with one of his films, and then the tribute to the giant spider invasion, the 50th anniversary. So, and then the granddaddy of them all, that's what I call it, just because it's in Madison, the Wisconsin Film Festival is April 3rd. And that is always an absolute blast, too. I mean, talk about if you just want to lose yourself in films for a week, that's the one to do it, folks. 150 films to choose from. Great venues, really fun events, Q&As, everything. That all takes place here in Madison, April 3rd. So we'll talk a little bit more about that as that gets closer, too. But tonight, it'll be good to have Jeff here. We'll talk about the Mental Health Warrior Film Festival. Let me make sure I'm saying that right, and it's not the mental health. Yeah, mental health. Am I saying that? I did right. I have it somewhere. I'm a mess. I'm at my home court, Conrad, and it feels weird.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie to you. Like, what are you looking at? You're looking at an empty chair.
Well, there's about 3 kegs over on that side now.
Of course there are. Doing shots. Chris Casper sent a picture of his dog. When I got here today, he was telling me about this dog, and I thought it sounded really kind of mean looking, and it had kind of a tough sounding name. I said, let me guess. It can be mean if it has to, or it looks like a pit bull, so people will keep their distance, but it's a big sweetie. And he said, yeah. And then he said, she's 80 pounds, and he sent a picture. And I don't think this dog would scare anybody. It's like the cutest thing ever. And I'm not a dog guy. I'm not an animal in the house guy. We've covered that, right?
I don't know if we have.
Well, no offense to Chris. I find the idea of an animal in the house kind of strange. Animals should be outside. I know it's commonplace here in modern day America to have a dog or cat in the house. We had a bearded dragon for a while. But I say that because I'm mostly envious because I love dogs so much, but I'm allergic to dogs and cats, and I can't have one. So I'm kind of envious of everybody who can. So that's how I make my argument. Animals should not be in the house. Great dog, Chris. Thank you for sending that photo. Conrad, did you get this picture?
I don't think
I'll send it to you. You should put it in your wallet.
Okay.
It's a great way to meet girls. You go to a bar, you whip out a picture of your dog. It's not code, your actual canine. No, but it doesn't matter. You can use Chris's dog to help you find girls. I think he would want that for you. Chris is a
this
giver.
This is my coworker's dog.
How pathetic is that? That's hilarious. But you never know. It could work. She might think it's adorable. And it's like, he loves dogs so much, he carries around a picture of his coworker's dog. That's a big sweetie right there. I think that's great. I think that could work. So fun show tonight. And that, ladies and gentlemen, we need to get to this. It's our question of the night.
Let's talk about the question.
Okay, question.
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 Pregunta.
Question.
Question.
Okay, I have a question. Questions? This question.
Domanda. Question.
Question.
Questions.
If you had to be on a reality show, what show would it be? If you had to be on a reality show, what show would it be? My wife actually thought of this question because The Bachelor season 29 ends this month, and things are really heating up. I have trouble talking to her when she starts talking about The Bachelor. I'm like, I'm sorry, you need a girlfriend for this or another guy friend. Even if you want, get a boyfriend and tell him, I cannot listen to The Bachelor talk. But giver that I am on these radio airwaves, I know a lot of people do like The Bachelor. So if you had to be on a reality show, what would it be? I think I would pick, who did we have on the show? She was on Survivor. Andrea Belke.
Yep.
She was on Survivor like 3 times, I want to say, which I think is kind of nuts. And she admitted as much when she was here. But I applaud her. She was a fan favorite, Conrad. A fan favorite on Survivor. That's no easy task. I think everybody would hate me. I'd be the guy always complaining. I just want my cell phone and a coffee shop and sunblock. Oh, man, they would hate me so much. But I think I will say, oh, man, a reality show. Maybe, what's the UFC one? Power Fighter? No, what is it called? The Ultimate Fighter. No. I got
the reality show for it?
Yeah, there's a reality UFC show.
I don't know what it's called.
The Ultimate Fighter.
Oh, okay.
So that's what I would do. I would go on The Ultimate Fighter, get knocked out immediately, and go home. Then I wouldn't have to go on Survivor and deal with bugs and no food. Although Survivor is a great way to keep the weight off.
Yeah.
You get thin, it's the Survivor diet.
You just
don't
leaves and bugs.
You eat leaves and bugs or nothing. That could be a delicacy. Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough one. Maybe just like Big Brother. Aren't you just like in a house with other people? See, that I could handle.
Yeah, I think I'd go with MILF Manor.
Yeah, but wouldn't your dad have to be on the show with you?
No,
Isn't it sons and dads?
Oh, I guess I didn't think about that.
Yeah, nice work.
The first season is with it's with the mom who brings her son, and the second season is the dad who brings their son. So, I retract it. I retract that.
Yeah.
I'm not going on MILF Manor.
You're welcome, Steve. I had to call your boy's attention to that. I don't see that. The problem with that is like, well, there's a lot of problems, but that is definitely the weirdest, most awkward inducing show I think I've ever heard of. A father and son hitting on the same girl.
The challenges make it worse.
Do you have to bed them? I'm dating myself with that phrase, but I love it.
They got like mud wrestling or like dancing or something.
Please tell me who mud wrestles. I want to know that. There's not like, God, that's so weird.
Yeah, it's
like, who comes up with that? That's what's really weird.
TLC does. TLC does.
The Learning Channel. Oh,
I don't think.
Thank you for the education. I would not have learned that fathers and sons routinely hit on women and try to win their hearts in a good old-fashioned mud wrestle. That's what the Learning Channel is teaching me. It used to be educative, didn't it?
The last time I looked at some of the stuff they have on there, because it's on Max now. It's only
you
like,
got to be kidding me.
Yeah, it's only like MILF Manor, like the one show where they date someone from across the country, 90 Day Fiance. Like
90 Day Fiance.
Like 800 spinoffs of it too. And that's all I see of TLC.
90 days is too long. If you know, you know. Shouldn't take 90 days. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to buck trend. And I'm going to say I'll go on The Bachelor. I want to be The Bachelor. I get to choose from 20 women. I've been married forever. Honey, if you're listening, I'm sorry, but I would welcome this opportunity. You're looking at me in shame.
I got a new one. American Ninja Warrior. I'll go on there, get eliminated right away, and then I'm done.
Yeah, and that'd be less painful than getting punched out on The Ultimate Fighter. All right. What reality show would you be on if you had to be on a reality show? I say The Bachelor. Conrad says MILF Manor. Let us know what you think. 855-752-4842. 855-75-CIVIC. Oh, we got a show tonight, folks. Coming to you live from Madison. Tim Sowers coming up at 6:35. Up next, a really funny clip from Saturday Night Live you won't want to miss. It's Pete Schwaba and Nightlight on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Every time I'm with you, baby, can't believe it's true. When you lay in my arms, you do the things you do.
Listening to the Talk of Green Bay, WGBW, home of Mino and the Mayor. No more mold, no more damage, no more slipping and hurting. Make your ordinary bathroom extraordinary for only $99 per month. New shower, new door, new tub, new wall, new anti-slip technology. BCI Bath and Shower is made in America for the highest quality. First 50 callers save $1,500 on a never-clear glass treated door. BCI Bath and Shower. Interest-free financing options. 800-329-4115. 800-329-4115. 800-329-4115.
The annual Pi Day 5K Run Walk is back, and it's the 11th year. It's going to be held on March 15th outside of the Leonardo da Vinci School in Green Bay. This run walk is very unique because it was completely organized by the 5th graders who go there. And all proceeds are going toward the Old Glory Honor Flight. If you're looking for a fun way to celebrate Pi Day, this is it. Head to WGBW.FM, click events, and sign up. Don't let those 5th graders down.
As a federally licensed broadcast company, this civic media station is required by FCC regulations to accept advertising by all qualified candidates for federal office. We also accept ads from state and local candidates. We do screen announcements from issue groups and PACs and exercise discretion in airing announcements with blatantly false claims or outrageous, unfounded statements. These announcements do not necessarily reflect the views of civic media, its hosts, or advertisers, and the source of all issue announcements can be found online at our FCC public file.
Finding the special healthcare resources families need just got easier. Wisconsin Wayfinder Children's Resource Network helps kids with delays, disabilities, special healthcare needs, and mental health conditions. Call toll-free 877-947-2929. Ask questions, get answers. Connect today toll-free 877-
I'm going to kick off this segment by saying, hello, Sherry from Horicon. You know, I know where Horicon is now because I drove from Green Bay last night to Madison, and I passed a sign that said Horicon, and I thought of Sherry.
I thought you were going to say you went through it. I'm like, that's a little detour.
No. I just saw the exit for it. Could have been like 300 miles in that direction, so I don't know exactly where it is, but hello, Sherry. I did think of you, and I was off the air, Sherry. That's what I think of your friendship here with Nite. Thank you for the text. Good evening to you as well. Meredith from Madison says, The Price is Right. Is that a reality show? Sure. We can expand it to game show.
Yeah,
Look,
yeah.
I'd rather be on a game show than a reality show. Maybe that's what we should. Conrad, take a memo. Next question is, what game show would you want to be on?
Have you ever heard of The Floor?
No.
It's the worst game show I've ever seen in my life.
Explain.
2 people stand across from each other, and then there's a big screen. And it's just pictures, and you just got to name what the picture is. That's it. And whoever can't do it first loses.
What kind of pictures are they?
I saw one. It was like horse, banana, orange, ketchup.
Oh my God. We are getting so dumb as a society. That's insane. Meredith also says, say yes to the dress. That must be an inside Price is Right joke because I don't get that.
Or maybe that's a reality show. Where
Maybe.
a person helps.
Has
get
to
a
wear
dress?
a dress they don't want to wear.
They have to wear it.
Oh, the humanity. Ed from Madison says, I would be on Queer Eye. I'm a mess. I need all the help I can get. Oh, the funniest part of that. I'm a mess. Ed says he'd be on Queer Eye. He's a mess, and he needs all the help he can get. I forgot about that one. Is that still on?
I'll go to the Google.
Go to the Google and see what you can find out on that one. Jameson from Pennsylvania, that's the 814, says, I think this is abbreviated, but he says, Hell's Kitchen Chopped, or one of the culinary ones, would be a blast. Have fun, cook food, way less drama than the other ones. I've been a chef, and no, I'll lose, but as they say, there's no bad publicity. Well, unless
Good point.
something you make kills someone, Jameson. That would be terrible. That might put you out of business. So you're a chef, but with that kind of attitude, Jameson, I would think you'd have a shot. Like, are most of those food shows, are they all like really good chefs or are they aspiring chefs? I don't really watch them.
I say it's a mix of like both.
Okay.
I tried watching Hell's Kitchen for like a whole season once, and it just got repetitive. Just one chef freaking out every episode, and then Gordon Ramsay just absolutely yelling at him.
Okay. See, that's the thing, too. You have to be a persona that people like to watch or are interested in somehow. So I don't think you have to cook, Jameson, or make stuff that's really good. Maybe you just have to not kill someone with your cooking. All right, so keep those texts coming, folks. This is in honor of The Bachelor. I said I'd be on The Bachelor just because I think it would be hilarious that women are clamoring for my attention. Because when does that ever happen, right? But these schmucks that they parade through on The Bachelor have these women that want to be their wives. I don't understand. And they don't really want to. They want, they want to go on there. They want the notoriety. They want to build a brand. I get that.
Do they get money too if they win?
That I don't know. I assume that they get scale or they have to join some kind of union, or maybe not because reality TV has found a way to circumvent the whole rules thing. But I don't know. Anna from Madison says, Yes to Dress is a show about a bride-to-be choosing a bridal gown. The show is filmed in a bridal salon in NYC. I'd rather watch Bridesmaids. That was really funny.
I'm pretty sure there is a movie called Say Yes to the Dress, too.
The movie version of a reality show? Yawn.
I don't know if it's I don't know.
Yes to Dress. Okay, I could see that. So Anna, but what I guess Anna is saying she'd want to be on Yes to Dress too, or she's just correcting or explaining what it is. Yes to the dress. Say yes to the dress. Okay. Whew. After a roaring start here. Here's the thing. I asked the question because my wife suggested it, and I don't know any of the shows because I don't watch a reality TV show. That's an oversight on my part. But I would say The Bachelor. Conrad said MILF Manor. But I think
I changed it. Okay,
I know, but I think you'd be so freaked out you'd pull like a Tanya Harding on your dad and knock him off at the kneecap so he couldn't be on the show with you.
And we'd be
Which
on
your
there for
mom would
1
pray.
minute, and I'd say, Dad, it's time to leave. Let's go.
Oh, that's hilarious. All right, so last weekend, Mike Myers appeared on Saturday Night Live, I think for the second week in a row. Do we have time for this?
We do not.
Oh, come on, really?
It's a long clip.
Here I am. Okay, here's why I don't like reality TV, because I don't watch it. I asked a question. Now I'm sucked into the conversation, and it pulled me away from actual brilliant sketch comedy. But our question tonight, folks, is if you had to be on a reality show, what would it be? Let us know. The Bachelor season 29 is
That
wrapping
show's
up.
older than me.
I was just going to say that. Like, there are people that could be on that show that weren't even born when it started. This is a big day for movie releases, too. Not a big day, but over the course of the last 15, 16 years, actually, I would go back to 1988 because that's when Stand and Deliver dropped. Edward James Olmos and Lou Diamond Phillips. And that kind of I can't remember if that was what put Lou Diamond Phillips on the map or if it was La Bamba. I can't remember which came first. Also, Everything Everywhere All at Once. That was the one movie I didn't see that Oscar year. So I still haven't seen that film. And Battle Los Angeles came out in 2011. Now stick with me. Battle Los Angeles is about a group of Marines who take on aliens that invade Los Angeles. Yeah, it sounds terrible, but it's surprisingly watchable. I've seen it twice. It's a great movie to watch if you're hanging out with like dudes. Aaron Eckhart is in it. He's great. And they kind of make it realistic. Civic Media News coming up next, folks. They're going to tell you what you need to know. And then we're going to be back with Tim Sowers from the Overture Center, who's going to tell us what's coming up. You won't want to miss that. It's Pete Schwaba and Nite Lite coming to you live from Madison tonight on the Civic Media Radio Network.
So alone I kick the wolves at bay, and there's only one
listening to the Talk of Green Bay, WGBW, home for the Todd Albaugh Show.
Your news, conversations, and a whole lot of fun. It's all on your local Civic Media radio station or the Civic Media app.
For 97.9 WGBW News, I'm Lisa Hale. Governor Tony Evers unveiled a capital budget he calls a critical step to address aging infrastructure. The Democratic governor's proposal includes nearly $1.6 billion for projects on the University of Wisconsin campuses and more than $493 million for costs to overhaul the Wisconsin corrections system. Evers warned that putting off the projects could drive up the final costs amid President Donald Trump's push for tariffs. Republican leaders, however, are calling the plan another example of Evers' irresponsible spending.
Okay.
It wasn't a relaxing
So you can't,
vacation
you don't
or
wanna
a
talk about
comfy
that yet?
night's stay in Little Chute last night as guests were evacuated from the Country Inn and Suites just off of I-41 due to a fire in the mechanic room. Little Chute Fire Department officials say no one was injured in the blaze.
if you had to
Guests
be on a
were
reality
refunded and
show,
hotel
what
managers
show
helped
would it
them
be?
find another place to stay.
All right,
the
sweet.
hotel is closed while
we'll leave
cleaning
with that.
crews come in. An
Have you
update on a
really?
story that we've been following. The
Oh,
U.S.
that's
Department of
fantastic.
Agriculture
Right.
will
Save it.
now
I
release
will.
money
All right.
to Wisconsin
We had-
farmers,
do you know who Andrea
previously
Belfi is?
left in the lurch by the Trump administration. Savannah Tomei Olson has the details.
The Dairy Business Initiative program is a law sponsored by Senator Tammy Baldwin. It allowed dairy farmers to get grants on projects that would modernize their operations and provide more jobs. 88 dairy businesses across the Midwest have been awarded those grants, totaling more than $6 million. Many of them started those projects knowing they would later be reimbursed by the federal government. But the Trump administration ordered the USDA not to release the money. There's been a lot of back and forth since then. Now Baldwin says the USDA secretary has agreed to reverse course, and the 30 dairy businesses across the Badger State will get that money they were counting on. For Civic Media News, I'm Savannah Tomei Olson.
I'm Lisa Hale, 97.9 WGBW News.
On your entertainment beat, I'm Pete Schwaba. New releases in theaters this past weekend all seemed to limp to the finish line for different reasons. Acclaimed director Bong Joon-ho's new film, Mickey 17, did finish first at the box office with $19 million, but that was a bit of a disappointment. The film starring Robert Pattinson cost almost $120 million to make and is not expected to recoup. This was the director's first big studio budget after winning a Best Director Oscar for Parasite 5 years ago. The other new releases were Rule Breakers, which got excellent reviews from critics and even better from audiences, but brought in just $1.5 million at the box office on over 2,000 screens. In the Lost Lands, starring Mila Jovovich and David Bautista, stunk up theaters with barely over $1 million at the gate and terrible reviews. Captain America managed to hang on to the number 2 slot, followed by Last Breath, The Monkey, and Paddington in Peru, which finished in 5th place. Tough week. For more showbiz fun, tune into Nightlight with me, Pete Schwaba, weeknights from 6 to 8 p.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
You can always continue the conversation on social media. Share your thoughts when you find and follow Civic Media on Facebook, X, and Instagram.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Tonight, mostly cloudy, a low in the upper 20s. For tomorrow, sunshine returns and warmer, highs to the low 50s, and into the upper 50s and partly to mostly sunny Thursday. Mid-60s Friday with showers and storms late and breezy. It's 42 right now.
She's digging it, and we went to see the Frank.
Ready for the April election? Here's a special invitation for you. Join the free Protecting Justice for All conversation about the Wisconsin Supreme Court race Wednesday, March 12th from 5 till 7 p.m. at the Overture Center in Madison.
Up North News radio host Pat Cracklow, Civic Media's Todd Albaugh, and Dan Schaefer will lead a guest discussion about the economy, education, environment, and more. Then stay for the Candidates Debate Watch Party.
Attend in person or listen to live coverage from the Overture Center in Madison, Wednesday night, March 12th from 5 till 7 on your local Civic Media radio station and the app. The Maggie Dawn Show.
What do you think about Donald Trump firing 80,000 employees of the VA? Steve from Madison, also a veteran. I'm hearing from one of our conservative texters saying it's okay because it saves money.
How does it save money if it kills people? I mean, how many suicides are there amongst veterans? How many of us seniors need health care? I mean, you take away money from us and it kills us. That's what it does.
The Maggie Dawn Show. Weekdays from 2 till 4 on your local Civic Media radio station and on the Civic Media app. Todd Albaugh.
Hey, everybody, joining us next time, our old friend Pat Cracklow.
Yeah, and no, you're not going to find that in Milwaukee. A little bit.
A little bit.
Conrad. Were you doing the Fonz, or were you telling me it's okay to start talking?
I was telling you it's okay, but I can do the Fonz too.
Get out your cellular telephone and make a call. Welcome back to Nite Lite, ladies and gentlemen. This is exciting tonight because I got a director coming in studio, comedy at 7:05. But right now, I'm meeting in person. If you're watching on the stream, you can see Mr. Tim Sowers, who is the Chief Artistic Experiences Officer of the Overture Center, which is right across the street here in Madison. Tim's been on the show several times, but this is the first time I've had him in the studio, and it just worked out this time. So it's great to have you, buddy.
It is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice here across the street.
I agree.
I just walked across the street.
Do you have this view from your office of State Street? Or
My office view is of the Orpheum.
Oh, that's pretty good,
it
too.
Centers my window.
Another arrival theater.
I know, but it's a good one.
It's a good
old
one, yeah.
theater.
You could do a lot worse.
Yeah, that's right.
Good to have you here, Tim. Let's jump right in because, first of all, I have to ask you, this is exciting. Conrad, you're going to get a kick out of this. I don't see him. Maybe he's left. Tim. Okay. I thought you took a powder. Our question of the night is, if you had to be on a reality show, what reality show would it be? And we're doing this at the suggestion of my wife, a subject I know nothing about. But our guest, Tim Sowers, says he has an answer. Tim, please.
I do have an answer. I was on a reality show.
I can't believe it.
Very briefly. So it was, I don't know how many years ago. There was a summer. It lasted one season. It was called American Inventor. And people had inventors, and it was almost like
I kind of think I remember
it was
that.
almost like the beginning of Shark Tank.
Okay.
So people, the idea of the show is people would have a prototype, and then there'd be one winner that they would then mass produce there.
And
So anyhow, so I was working in Chicago, and one of my colleagues, she was so tired she lived out in the suburbs, it was around the holidays, she was putting up her holidays lights, and no one would ever help her. So she invented this plug system where she could hook these pieces together, stick her lights out the window, and clip it to the spouting. So she could do it all herself. And she was a visual artist. And she had these locks, like this section would lock into this section. And I said, oh, you should go on American Inventor. I just saw they had auditions. And she goes, what's that? And I said, oh, I don't know, some show. And she looked it up and she says, oh, there's one more audition left. And it's in Washington, D.C. And she goes, go with me. And I said, all right. Right? Because she's not.
Well, you're a pal.
She wasn't a talker.
Okay.
Right? She's a visual artist, and she was doing marketing and whatever. So I said, yeah, I'll go. And so we worked up our little pitch. So we were in this room, and she starts talking about her product, and I start kind of taking it over to talk about it. And we had 5 minutes. That's the time we were allotted. But as we kept talking, more and more people kept coming into the room. And all of a sudden, we were there for over an hour talking about this product. And the producers came into our room, in our little conference room we were in. And then they said, we would like you to get on the show. This is our final day of auditions. We have not selected any other double. It's all been solo people, but we love the way that you answer all her questions for stuff. And we're like, okay.
And she was okay with that too?
Yeah, she was great with it, right? And so we were going to go to Hollywood for the auditions. And if you remember back in those days, because it was like early American Idol and stuff, we used to have those audition episodes, and they used to make fun of people and all that kind of stuff. So anyhow, so by the time that we got selected, by the time we went out to LA was maybe a month. And we had computers and stuff, but they were calling us constantly and telling us and pitching us on how to really pitch they were really going with
coaching
us.
You almost. Yeah.
Coaching, that's the right word. They were coaching us on it. And I remember getting the contract. I still have it. And it was like this thick. For anybody watching, is like this thick.
No one's reading that.
But there was a paragraph in there that said, we have the right to ridicule you, to put you in a negative light, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They weren't going to do that to us because the way that they were. So we get out to LA, and I said to my friend, you better get this registered. Get a patent for this,
Yeah.
or not a patent, but
Copyright,
a copyright for it. So her cousin was a lawyer who did that out in L.A. And they must have changed the scope of the show by the time that we auditioned to what they were going to do, because everybody they selected for the show already had final products and they were all being pitched on various networks. And lots of freaks. They brought in a lot of freaky people to like ridicule them. And my friend's lawyer was the lawyer for the show. And he said, I have all their finalists and you're not one of them. So I was like, why did they spend all this time with us, fly us out to not, because we're not part of the ridicule piece.
Right.
And then when we went to do our audition with the judges in this big warehouse and this little tiny set, we had a whole new pitch, but they were going off an old pitch and asking us questions. And I started to go, we didn't talk about that. Why'd you bring that up? And they quickly pushed it aside. But in the opening episode of the show, we're there. So it's kind of fun.
What happened with the invention? That's a neat.
I know it. I told her to go on Shark Tank with that. That's a Shark Tank. They'll buy it.
Holiday
It's
stuff
still
especially.
good.
It's like,
Right? But she hasn't done anything with it. But
That was your
But
brush
so-
with reality fame.
So reality TV?
Do you watch reality TV?
I like
okay.
Survivor. I watched that. I haven't watched it recently. I don't know. I like reality cooking shows.
People love those. Yeah.
Like the Gordon Ramsay's Next Level Chef or Master Chef. Like I like watching those kind of competitions. But I think it would be most interesting to just be behind the scenes and see how they really film all that stuff. What they really do. Does it really an hour to cook that, or is it more like 4?
Well, that's what a friend of mine used to do that, who was a comedian. Remember the Magic Bullet? Those
Yep.
infomercials,
Yep,
they all
yep.
act like it's the next morning
yeah,
after
yeah.
a party and the couple's making the food. And he's
Yep,
like,
yep.
hey, that's great, but I don't have a bunch of bowls of chopped up crap already in my kitchen. It doesn't take 5 minutes. Probably takes an hour, hour and a half. So
Like they do it with those kids. Like those Master Chef Junior. They have those kids cooking in an hour. And I'm like,
yeah.
no way.
Tim, this is a nice bonus. I was not expecting a reality TV background. That's pretty cool. And the cooking shows, I think at least they don't pair you against people or try to tear
Right.
people down or
Right.
probably even coach you that much.
Right.
Maybe just how to be more camera friendly or
Yeah.
I don't
There's
know.
so many of them now.
Yeah, that's interesting. Well, my guest is Tim Sowers. He is obviously a reality TV celebrity. Do you get mobbed? Like you just walked across the street.
I'm
but
just
was
a
it tough?
celebrity anyway.
He is the Chief Artistic Experiences Officer at the Overture Center, right across the street here in Madison. You guys have some. Well, you have a beautiful facility. You've got
I know,
all these
it's gorgeous.
theater- It's on. You must just be like, do you walk to work and you walk in every day and go, I get to work here?
Yeah, one of the things that's lovely because it's so big and spacious and beautiful inside is no cabin fever in the winter.
Yeah,
really none.
That's so cool.
I moved here for it.
Did
right,
you?
I
From
moved here
Chicago?
from Chicago to work here.
To work at the Overture Center.
Yeah.
What, I mean, it's just like we have here in Madison, the Overture Center, we have what a lot of really huge cities have, don't we? In a city the size of Madison. Which I
Well,
think
and that's
is-
what when I moved here, I was my supervisor at the time was someone I knew, and she said, "I really need you to come to." I originally came to be the director of education, and she said, "I really need you to come up here and bring your expertise to us." And I said, "I'll come and interview, but I'm not moving to Madison, Wisconsin." Right? And then I walked into this space, and I was like, "Do they know what they have here?" Right? Like,
yeah.
And I think at the time it was huge for this town, but now it's not. Now we're packed all the time. We have shows all the time, people all the time.
Gosh.
It's really busy, right?
And a lot of other theaters around too.
And
Like,
a lot of
I would
other
say
theater
Madison
crowds.
has a ton of theaters.
It's really doing good. It's great.
Let's just talk about March and jump in here. You got the Madison Symphony playing this weekend.
This
Are there
weekend.
tickets available?
Yeah,
for
there are
that?
tickets
Oh,
for that. And they do, I don't know, 7, 8 concerts a year, and
Okay.
very highly respectable. They're searching for their new conductor right now.
Oh, I am so there.
That is happening.
Do you think I could do that?
I don't know.
Be honest.
I don't know.
Conrad?
Would you want to do it?
You just got to go like this, right? Is that pretty much?
I don't know. I don't know.
I think I could do it in spite of, like, I
Well,
think they would know not to listen to me. So
And the
we'd
size
be
of
fine.
town for this to have a symphony, right? For Madison to have a symphony
Where
that's
I live,
successful.
Yeah, where I live, if they had a symphony, I could probably fake it for a little while.
Yeah, there you go.
But I wouldn't make probably good money doing it.
yeah.
All right, so that's cool. So there's tickets available for this weekend.
Yep,
Madison
yep.
Symphony is fantastic.
Yeah.
They've been on PBS, right?
Oh, they've been all
Yeah,
over.
they're
They do
great.
this really great Bolts competition where they have young artists
Okay.
audition and compete for the best that there is, and that is amazing. They do that in the spring each year.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'll be coming up with them soon.
Sounds like a reality show a little bit.
Anything
You
can
could
be a
film. Just
reality.
trying to get
Anything
around.
can be
Yeah,
a
exactly.
reality.
This could be a reality.
This
show.
could be a reality.
And then I think, all right, let's jump in. Okay, you have Beautiful Noise.
Neil Diamond.
Neil Diamond. Tell us all about that. It's not just his music; it's a story, right? And a whole.
Yeah, it's really the story. He's kind of looking at his life, and then it goes back into his life from I grew up with Neil Diamond music, but I was never a diehard fan or anything. But I am now after he wrote so much music before he was even a singer himself.
Right.
So it kind of looks like his whole legacy of songs.
He's just one of those guys. Like for me, I probably in the early '90s, I was like, man, this guy's great. Like I've been hearing his music my whole life, but
Right.
same as you,
Right.
I wasn't
You
like
just
going out and buying his records, and all of a sudden it's like Forever in Blue Jeans, Solitary Man, Girl, You'll Be a Woman Soon.
The show, it's very popular. It
Yeah.
had a nice run on Broadway, and I just, one of the things with Broadway is I get all the information, about weekly grosses on Broadway and how the shows are all doing on the road, and that show's only been in the road like 5-6 months, and it's already couped its investment.
Wow.
So now they're in the profit.
How is it selling here?
Great.
Okay.
They're
Are there
tickets, but it's great.
Okay. So that's this week. Wait,
Next
that's
week.
Next week, and then the week after too, right?
No, just one.
Just 1 week.
Just 1 week. We do 8 shows, Tuesday through Sunday.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Wow, get your tickets, folks. All right, and then I think we can get this in before the break. Shamrock Tenors.
I know it. Boys from Ireland.
I
Singing
love
the best there is.
Irish tenors. It doesn't get any better than that.
Yeah.
Well,
They're good.
Are they?
Yeah, really good.
I would hope so.
They had this other show called The Choir of Man that I saw one year over at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, and brought that show over here a couple years ago. And now they have this new show, and it's just these glorious voices.
It's amazing. I grew up listening to my dad sing. He was an Irish tenor and always sang when we go to church, he was doing Ave Maria and all these. So I loved all and he would talk about when I was a kid, I was listening to rock and roll and all this.
Yeah,
and he
right.
would talk about Pavarotti, and I'm just like,
right.
And then I
right.
got older and I developed an appreciation for all that stuff. So he was one of the 3 tenors, right? It's Pavarotti, Bobby O'Shea. No, I'm just
I don't
making
even know.
stuff up.
I don't know
And the
who
2
they
other
are.
guys. And then the Madison Ballet later in the month, right?
Yeah,
okay.
they do great repertoire at Overture Center.
Is that the same group that would have done
The Nutcracker.
The Nutcracker?
Mhm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And that's just March, folks. So if you want to get down to the Overture Center, you can see any one of these shows. They still have tickets available, and they're all phenomenal. If I wanted to see all of these, Tim, like if I had money burning a hole in my pocket, could I get like a month-long pass or something?
No, every show's different.
It's not like you just mark the wrist.
Because there's different companies.
Yeah.
Right?
makes
Like some are overture shows. The symphony is their own show. The ballet is their show.
Okay.
So it's all different. We have
All
so
right.
many people using the building.
Tim Sowers is here from the Overture Center. We're going to come back and maybe talk about a couple more shows. And I'm going to ask Tim what he's watching. He always is very well informed in the way of episodics and movies. We'll do that after a very short break. Don't go anywhere. It's great to have you with me here on Nightlight on the Civic Media Radio Network.
From De Pere to Swamico, 97.9 WGBW.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay.
Yeah, I know you have a great show. Yeah, you have a great show.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Really?
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Attention. If you suffer from consistent pain in your joints caused by arthritis, overuse, or injury, you may be a candidate for a revolutionary therapy that could revitalize damaged tissue. This approach can provide long-lasting relief from pain in your knees, shoulders, hips, and other joints with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. To find out if you're a viable candidate, you may request a free consultation from QC Kinetics by calling 920-332-5578. Instead of masking the symptoms, it goes to the root of the problem to resolve it at its source. Already used by thousands of satisfied patients nationwide, this joint pain therapy is available right now to the public, but only for qualified candidates. Again, to find out if you're a viable candidate for this therapy, you may request a free consultation by calling QC Kinetics at 920-332.
Yeah. Well, we can talk about
We're back. We're just hanging out talking about
Wicked.
Tim Sowers is here from the Overture Center, right across the street. We're broadcasting live from Madison tonight. Great to have you with me on this beautiful day here in the state of Wisconsin. We were talking about Wicked, Tim. Did you like the movie?
I didn't see it.
Oh, you didn't see it? I think you know the story. You don't have
I
to.
do. That's my problem. Like everybody's like, you haven't watched it? And I was like, I know what happened.
Yeah, I get it.
I'll watch it. It's going to be free now on Peacock this month.
Yeah. It's
So
fun. It's a good movie.
Yeah,
I liked
yeah.
it. I've never seen the stage show, but I like the movie.
Listen,
a lot.
it brought the stage show back on Broadway. Wicked is the number one grossing
wow, is
show
that right?
again because of that movie. Looked good.
Yeah, it was great.
I'll watch it.
I liked it.
I'll
I think the fact that it has another part coming out hurt it in the Oscars because it kind of had everything and didn't really
do much.
But what do you have? You said you could tease what's coming up in the way of Broadway shows or what you guys have in
Well,
April.
Wicked. I mean, Wicked single tickets go on sale this week, Friday.
Okay.
In the summer, and then April 17th we announce our next season already, and we still have we have over 30 shows. We're announcing 7 Broadway shows for that.
Nice.
Another real big one coming back to us again.
Oh, I know you can't tell me, and that's fine. I've seen Les Mis in 3 different states.
We just had it last.
Oh, did you really?
Season or the season before?
I actually saw it up in Appleton anyway. So,
yeah,
and it's the same. Group
It's the same tour.
They were
Still
great.
going strong.
Phenomenal.
It's a great show. I mean, it's gonna always be popular.
Will it always tour?
No, what they do usually is tour it for a few years, take a couple years off, and then say brand new tour.
It's coming back. Yeah, right.
Phantom is going back on the road again.
Oh, really?
After it closed on Broadway after being the longest running show, and this next season will be the first year out of that show.
Okay. Nice. I've never seen that either.
That's been around since the 80s,
I
right?
know. So was Les Mis, right?
Yeah,
Late
80s.
maybe?
Yeah.
So, Tim, it's about that time. I need to ask you, is there anything else you want to talk about that's coming to the Overture? All right.
Good. Let's talk about what we're watching.
Let's get to some moving pictures and some colored
I'm
television.
telling you, I need help on what to watch.
Oh, really?
There's nothing out. I'm watching White Lotus. Do you watch White Lotus?
Yes, I just finished season 2, and I'm waiting for season 3 to build up.
Okay, so I'm on that.
Okay. Did you like season 2?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, me too.
Do you like it?
I do.
It's interesting. It's I will say on season 3 though, and I won't give you anything away.
Okay.
Because you watched all season 2.
Yeah.
I miss Jennifer Coolidge.
It's
Her
so
character
funny.
was so crazy and so kind of essential to the show in a lot of ways in both seasons.
Right.
So I kind of miss that presence of her.
Here's my thing with Jennifer. Okay, I loved her too. I love Jennifer Coolidge in general. She's phenomenal.
She's hilarious.
But her death in season 2, this is weird to say, and I took some heat for it from our texters, made me laugh.
And I know
it
didn't seem real. The way she just plopped over the edge.
Her last words are, "You've got this." And then she goes down head first. You hear
I'm
her
hoping she's not really dead. That's what I'm hoping. But she probably is.
We've had John Grise on the show, the guy who plays her husband,
Oh,
Uncle
yeah.
Rico, and he's
Yeah.
great. And I'm trying to get him back on the show to talk about season 3, but she is missed. I agree. But her death was so funny in a weird way that she makes it, she kills all these guys and saves her fortune, and then she dies anyway. Well, it's been a year. I think
Yeah,
back
that's
and
right.
forth.
If you didn't watch it by now,
You're not
forget it.
exactly. So, but it's a good show.
But the show is quirky in that
Yeah.
way. They have that humor that's that dark
Oh, it's
comedy
great.
that's underneath all of it.
Yep.
Right?
And in season 1, the hotel manager who just kept sticking it to that
my
newlywed
God.
guy.
Oh my God, hilarious.
It was just, it's Mike White is just such a great writer, and his characters are just
Well,
phenomenal.
and he was involved in Survivor.
Mike White?
He was on Survivor.
The guy who wrote Orange County, The White Lotuses.
I just
No
saw
kidding.
something on it and I looked him up. And if you look at it, they're filmed very much. He's an older guy.
Yeah.
And he was on a season of
Oh my
Survivor.
gosh,
See,
that's
everybody's on
hilarious.
Survivor.
Except me. I don't like bugs. Have you seen, I'm trying to think, did you see Black Doves?
No.
That's pretty good. Who's the actress? Keira Knightley.
Oh, yeah.
And there's another guy in there. I don't know his name.
Yeah.
He's great. Yeah, I like that. I thought that was a good
Yeah, I'm
one.
watching nothing. Like,
Try it.
There's not much. I'm watching a PBS show that's on Amazon called Endeavor. Did you ever watch
Yeah, I've
that?
heard of it. I have not seen
It's
it.
like 9 seasons, and it's a British crime, takes place in the 1960s. Opera music is involved in it.
Oh, wow.
Every episode is 90 minutes, and it's like every episode is like a movie.
It's a movie,
It's
yeah.
beautifully done.
Endeavor. Okay. I'm going to make a note of that.
Yeah,
That's
it's really
excellent.
good. And then movies. I watched some movies.
What have you seen? We got about, what do we have, Conrad? How we doing?
Can we talk about the Oscars?
Got about a minute and a half.
Okay,
All right.
Oscars.
Yeah. No?
What was that?
Nothing?
Anora? Did you watch Anora?
Yeah. And I didn't get the best picture.
I didn't
thing.
get that either.
Like, if I had just gone and seen it, I would have liked it. But I'm like, best picture? I don't even think it was
I
as
don't
good
know
as Florida Project. I loved Florida
Oh,
Project.
yeah, I liked Florida Project.
And I liked Anora, but I don't know.
It wasn't Best Brutalist, man. That was a good movie.
Did you like that?
I loved it.
Oh, we got to continue this.
And
Tim.
Conclave, I loved Conclave.
I like Conclave too. I thought that had all the pieces.
I agree.
Love the twist. At
I
the
think that
end.
was the best of them all to be
Same.
the Oscar movie.
Tim Sowers, ladies and gentlemen. Go to the Overture Center. Whatever they have playing, it's phenomenal. It's a beautiful facility. Tim, you're a beautiful guy. Thank
Always
you very
a
much.
pleasure.
for
Nice
being
to
on the
meet you in
show.
person,
Yeah,
finally.
exactly.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna do like a buddy cop thing. Tim and I are gonna start palling around and we'll film it.
Yeah, okay.
We're coming up next. We got comedy next after Civic Media's news team keeps you informed on the Civic Media Radio Network.
And it breaks my heart.
That was great. Thank you.
When a teardrop falls, I wanna cry, cry, cry alone. When you're feeling blue, I'm waiting just for you. Someone's living for love.
The talk of Green Bay, WGBW. Rational Revolution with Mark Becker.
How are the Trump policies going to affect agriculture? We'll find out with Xochitl Torres-Small, who was the Deputy Secretary of Agriculture in the Biden administration.
Saturdays at 2, Sundays at 1 on your local Civic Media radio station and on the app. The Todd Alba Show.
Trump and Vance verbally assaulted the president of Ukraine, an ally of the U.S. Trump defending the president of Russia, a known dictator. This is a complete capitulation to our sworn enemies, and it's time for Republicans, my former party that I left in 2011, to speak the hell up, because if we don't, it's not going to be long before we don't have anything left to defend.
The Todd Alba Show. Weekdays noon till 2 on your local Civic Media radio station and on the app. Enjoying this local program? Find the complete Civic Media lineup at civicmedia.us or the Civic Media app. This is 97.9 WGBW Denmark, Green Bay's real news and great conversation, a Civic Media radio station.
ABC News, I'm Dave Packer. Uncertainty about tariffs rattling Wall Street. The Dow down again today, 478 points. And today, President Trump announcing he doubled tariffs on Canadian steel and aluminum from 25 to 50%, then reversing that with 25% tariffs kicking in at midnight tonight. Sources telling ABC News that mass layoffs are expected to start tonight at the Department of Education.
This comes after staff at the department was told to take their laptops home, that they were not going to be allowed back into the building after 6 o'clock tonight or allowed back into the building tomorrow.
ABC's Mary Alice Parks. The House today passing a spending bill that funds government agencies through the end of September. No Democrats supported it over its cuts for health care, VA benefits, and nutritional assistance for children. On the first day of talks in Saudi Arabia, Ukraine agreeing to a U.S. plan for an immediate 30-day ceasefire with Russia. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio saying the ball's now in Russia's court. This is ABC News.
I'm Lisa Hale with WGBW News. Your news roundup in quick podcast form. You can find it anywhere at the WGBW website, WGBW.fm. For 97.9 WGBW News, I'm Lisa Hale. A high school specifically designed for students overcoming substance use and the mental health challenges that often come with substance use could be coming to the Manitowoc area. A $75,000 grant from the Wisconsin Department of Public Instruction will assist the district in planning a recovery high school, a dedicated environment where students in recovery can thrive academically. The program was created under the 2023 Wisconsin Act 72. Manitowoc is one of 4 districts to receive the grant. The Menasha Joint School District is exploring the possibility of purchasing the UW-Oshkosh Fox Cities campus. The district would use the 40-acre space to create child care facilities. Some attending yesterday's school board meeting pushed back on the idea, citing the fact that the district closed Jefferson Elementary just last year due to a budget shortfall of $3.5 million. The school board did not discuss how much taxpayer money would be used to buy the campus. Outagamie and Winnebago counties own the UWO property and must be on board for any decision. A new economic district is officially recognized in Green Bay. The Shipyard District, which has been home to events like All Bands on Deck Music Festival, will work more closely with the city now. Green Bay Mayor Eric Genrich.
We have some grand plans for this part of town. I don't know if there's an area that's seen as much activity and as much investment as the city's demonstrated in this area of South Broadway here, and looking forward to much more in the future with the Shipyard Park itself.
The Shipyard District was formed in 2021 by business and property owners along South Broadway and State Streets on Green Bay's west side. I'm Lisa Hale, 97.9 WGBW News. For news anytime, log on to WGBW.fm.
Bucks basketball tonight. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. The Milwaukee Bucks in Indianapolis to take on the Pacers tonight. But the Bucks organization shocked and saddened at the news that Junior Bridgman has passed away. Bridgman played for the Bucks from 1975 to 1984, then later became a successful businessman, sitting on several boards of directors and growing his own business to over 100 restaurants, Wendy's and Chili's, many in southeastern Wisconsin. Last fall, Bridgman was included as a partner in the ownership of the Bucks.
10, 12 years ago, when there was rumors of the team possibly going to this city or that city, I said that cannot happen. The people here deserve to have a team. They've supported the team even when those years when we weren't very good. They support them now. Why would you move the team from here?
Bridgman at an event today in his home city of Louisville, a witness saying he grabbed his chest, saying he might be having a heart attack. Rescuers unable to save him. Junior Bridgman was 71 years old. With sports, I'm Mike Clemens.
This is your local Civic Media radio station. Want to hear even more? Anytime? Find all of it at civicmedia.us.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Tonight, mostly cloudy, a low in the upper 20s. For tomorrow, sunshine returns and warmer. Highs to the low 50s. And into the upper 50s and partly to mostly sunny Thursday. Mid-60s Friday with showers and storms late and breezy.
It's 39 right now.
Ready for the ultimate getaway? Picture this, a cozy cabin in Wisconsin's Northwoods, surrounded by nature's beauty, crystal clear lakes, and endless adventure. Be it fishing, boating, snowmobiling, or just kicking back by a campfire under the stars. This is relaxation like never before. Cook your own meals, enjoy private docks, and even bring your furry friends along for the ride. It's a perfect spot for family fun, a romantic retreat, and more. What kind of trip are you planning? Book your Northwoods vacation rental at simpleLifeRentals.com.
Ready for the April election? Here's a special invitation for you. Join the free Protecting Justice for All conversation about the Wisconsin Supreme Court race Wednesday, March 12th from 5 till 7 p.m. at the Overture Center in Madison.
Up North News Radio host Pat Kreitlow, Civic Media's Todd Albaugh, and Dan Schaefer will lead a guest discussion about the economy, education, environment, and more. Then stay for the Candidates Debate Watch Party.
Attend in person or listen to live coverage from the Overture Center in Madison, Wednesday night, March 12th from 5 till 7 on your local Civic Media radio station and the app.
Everyone is Irish for a week in one Northeast Wisconsin city. I'm Lisa Hale.
And I'm Terry Barr. All the Blarney as we celebrate St. Patrick's Day on the next New Wisco.
Broadcasting live from the Civic Media Studios in Green Bay, this is Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba, your inside source on everything entertainment from Wisconsin to Hollywood. And now, a guy who still likes to build a fort, Pete Schwaba.
Welcome back. Ladies and gentlemen, great to have you with me on this beautiful Tuesday night, coming to you live from downtown Madison, broadcasting statewide here on the Civic Media Radio Network. Our phone lines are open, 855-752-4842. We are a little behind on texts, but we'll get to them. Our question tonight is, if you had to be on a reality show, what reality show would you want to be on? We've had some good, and some people are chiming in with, game shows. That's fine, too. Our own Todd Michaels says match game. Conrad, is Todd just doing that, or does he love Match Game?
I think he just loves it. Or
he said Match Game 75, like in 1975, or is that like the number of iterations?
I have no idea what it is, to be honest.
And then we did get a text about, I think it was Anna from Madison, who wanted to know if Steve Martin and Martin Short were coming back to the Overture Center again. I don't know, but I did put in the text the calendar at the Overture Center. You can check out. I don't always see the texts when I'm talking to guests. Sorry about that, Anna, but we will let you know, or Conrad, maybe you could take a memo and find out from Anna. We're nothing if not information givers. So anyway, keep those texts coming. We'll get to them. Right now, I'm very excited to welcome my next guest. I don't know this guy personally, but I've heard nothing but great things about him. He is a comedian, and he joins us now on the stream, Frank Roach. Frank, hey.
Thank you for having me, Pete.
It's great to listen. Is it Roach? I made an assumption there.
Oh, no, you're absolutely right.
Okay, fantastic. Well, It's good to have you. Are you, how are you tonight?
Oh, doing great, man. Doing great in Chippewa Falls tonight, also Wisconsin.
Okay, so let's talk about that, because my buddy Mike Mercury put me in touch with you. He said, Pete, you got to talk to Frank. You got to have him on the show. I don't like him personally, but he's very funny. He didn't say that, Frank. So he highly recommended you, and I had a slot. I'm like, let's get to know a new comedian. So this is great, but he mentioned Chippewa Falls, but also that you were from Detroit. So can you explain that?
Yeah, so I'm from Detroit. I've been in Wisconsin for probably 12 years now, and I came because of a girl who I'm no longer with,
Okay.
But while I was here, I went to nursing school and finished my RN, which was great because it was right before COVID hit. And like so many comedian friends were like, oh man, I don't know what I'm going to do, because everyone's comedy dates dried up. Everything got canceled. So
wow, good timing.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, one of my best friends is a nurse. He and his wife are both nurses, and I was getting all my COVID information through him. Like, what should I be doing with? So you were probably a good guy to know during COVID in Chippewa Falls there. So you stayed. You stayed. Is it tough, Frank, being a comedian based in Chippewa Falls? I imagine you do a lot of driving.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And and I'm gonna since we can walk with this a little,
yeah,
I'm gonna show you, like, if you can see behind
Frank is
me.
giving me a tour of his home. I love this.
No, this is actually in my driveway. And that green son of a gun is with the license plate funny one. That is the road roller.
Oh, that's great. So I don't think this has ever happened before, Frank, on the history of Nightlight, which has only been on a little over a year, that I've gotten a tour like that and to see a comedian's car, which I'm guessing you have a lot of miles on, I would imagine.
You're funny. But it's funny you bring up Mike Mercury, because he's somebody that I really am glad I met in the last year. Because normally in comedy, at my age, I figure I know everybody that I'm going to know. And then this guy came out of nowhere and he's already become a good friend. Great guy.
Totally agree.
But did he tell you about a TV series that I'm producing now?
He did not. He just kind of gave me your info, and I reached out to you. But I know I've done some research. I know you have this cool show coming out called Big Star Comedy Small Town. So I'm glad we started with the Detroit Chippewa Falls thing. I would imagine it's tied somehow to your experiences.
Well, it's kind of wild because people kept like saying they were creators of content and stuff, like online creators. And I'm like, well, what is that? And it was like people doing like TikToks and little clips and that. And I'm like, I want to make a show. And I want it to be a show that would be something that would be for people who love history, who love travel, and who love stand-up comedy. So, and I got to tell you, the first episode has already won awards on 3 continents, and it was filmed in Neillsville, Wisconsin.
And you filmed this?
Yeah.
Nice. So
Yeah.
what is it, Frank? Is it like what's the form? Is it like sitcom-ish or
No.
sketch?
You were talking earlier like reality. This is more so kind of like that. So
okay.
The show is set up where we find a small town and with historic theater and a lot of history around it. And then we set up a show and we focus on all the historical sites to show people. And then we end with a show. But the way the sitcom or the way the series goes, if you're watching an episode, the first thing you see is a stand-up comedy line that pounds from the headliner. And then each segment we go from there. And every segment has a stand-up comedy line from the star, from the headliner. And for Wisconsin, we hit the Veterans Memorial, the high ground near Neillsville. We hit the 1897 jail, which is crazy because it had 24 cells connected to a beautiful Victorian mansion. And the sheriff's wife cooked for all the 24 people, all the 24 inmates. And during the tour, the lady was like, and she didn't get paid. And we're all really upset about that still. And the star of that episode, Rocky Laporte, said, was her cooking that bad?
I love Rocky. That's great.
She did not like that. But so we just did episode 2 in Butte, Montana. Episode 3 is going to be with Greg Morton from America's Got Talent. And that's going to be in Deadwood and feature like Mount Rushmore and surrounding. And then episode 4, Adam Carolla.
Wow, nice lineup. So how do you is it hard to produce this from Chippewa Falls, Frank, or is it all about just guys you've worked with and reaching out to them?
Luckily, it's the latter. It's guys I've worked with and reaching out to them. And because when they're like, well, who's funding this? And I'm like, well, my nursing job. But
Frank is funding this.
Right. So, and comedy shows that I'm obviously doing.
Right.
So, but yeah, it's kind of exciting because it seems that people are so willing to be helpful in these small towns to set up the tours. And and whatnot. And now I've got that episode from Wisconsin, episode 1, so I'm able to actually show people that. And then because of that episode, that's how I got Adam Carolla and everybody else.
Wow.
And no one's ever heard of Neilsville, none of these people, and I never did either before I moved, to Wisconsin. But not that that's a tourist destination, because it certainly isn't, but it's got a lot of history,
Yeah. No, it's interesting you say that, Frank, because I think all these towns, like I live in Marinette right now, which is probably smaller than where you are, and I commute every day to Green Bay typically to do the show. But even in that little town, there's this guy that went out to Hollywood and produced shows. There's this guy that got arrested in the CIA. There's this guy, like there's great history in all these towns. So I would think you would have a wealth of material there.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
And if you're into history and travel and stand-up comedy, you would dig the show. And it's like a 45-minute episode, which if it ends up on History Channel with commercials, it'd be an hour.
Where can people see this, Frank?
They can't yet, because we have to film so many episodes before we've got an agent to help us, sell it. And she works with History Channel and Netflix and everything in between. So we're not really sure where we're going to land.
Okay. Let's talk about, do you have shows coming up this week somewhere in Wisconsin?
Oh yeah.
Lay it on us, buddy. Where are you playing?
I'm at Bootleggers in Amherst Junction on Thursday. And then on Friday for Mike Mercury, our friend, I'm doing Mole Lake Casino.
Where, I know you're going to say it's in Mole Lake, but what vicinity is that in?
So I had to look it up too, because it looks like it's in Crandon.
Oh, nice. Okay. That's a beautiful little town. Do you like doing casinos?
That's a tricky question, man, because this particular one I already know is good because I heard it. The shows went really well. I've got a friend who was there a couple weeks ago, or at least for the last show. I don't know if it's monthly or how often, but he was there recently and he said, "Oh man, you're going to love that place." But nice. I've also done casinos like in the UP where it's snowing so bad, the manager comes up to me and he's like, hey, the opener called, he can't make it because of the snow, he's stuck. Can you do 95 minutes? And I'm like, what?
Oh, that's the worst.
Oh, yeah. And not only that, Pete, 95 minutes in front of a transient crowd. I mean, there are people that were right by the door. So they sit for a couple and then they're gone. It's like, all right. After a while, you can reuse some of the same jokes.
Oh, that's nice. I host a football fundraiser every year in Marinette that the local coach asked me to put together. I've been doing it for like 10 years since I moved to Wisconsin. And my biggest fear, and I host it, but I haven't done stand-up regularly since like the late 90s. So I can muscle through 10 minutes to open the show. But my biggest fear is two of the comics are going to call and go, "There's a snowstorm. We can't get there." And then it's just me up there going, "Hey, see if you guys know this song," whatever. Awful.
You remember?
Hey, go ahead.
Do you remember hearing somebody say, "Pete, can you stretch?"
Yeah, oh, for sure. Hey, Frank, I know you're an impressionist. We have about a minute and a half left. Is there who do you do the best, would you say?
Well, you know what, man? I do Christopher Walken and Liam Neeson pretty good.
Would you be willing to share one of those with us?
Yeah. All right. I wish we had a little more time. I would have done a little bit for you with even more. But check
we'll do
this
that
out.
next. Now that we're friends, Frank.
I can come back.
You're just a hop, skip, and a jump away there. You're in the suburbs of Marinette over there in Chippewa Falls. I'd love to have you back. Yeah, we got about 30 seconds. So
all right, here we go. We're gonna do Christopher Walken, the one everybody likes from Saturday Night Live.
Awesome.
Guys, I gotta tell you, I got a fever, and the only prescription is more cowbell. Gene, exploring the space. I gotta have it. I gotta have that cowbell.
And before we close, what I have is a particular skill set, Pete.
All right, we're gonna do this again. You're coming back, Frank. I hope you had fun. It was great to meet you, and
You too.
we'll talk soon. Knock 'em dead this weekend, buddy.
Thank you, friend.
All right, Frank Roach coming back with some clips, and I'm going to read your text, and then we'll bring in Jeff Blankenship to talk independent film. Pete Schwaba and Nite Lite, Civic Media Radio Network.
Right on.
The talk of Green Bay, WGBW, home of Mino and the Mayor.
While the teams get ready to choose their top draft pick, you can help Mino and the Mayor choose their top craft pick.
Northeast Wisconsin is home to amazing breweries, wineries, cideries, and distilleries, and we need your help picking the best.
We've drafted 10 of our favorites, but which local craft beverage creator will go to number 1? That's up to you. Top craft pick creators include Fifth Ward Brewing Company in Oshkosh, New Denmark Brewing, Duck Creek Distillery and Winery in Denmark, and Captain's Walk Winery in Green Bay. Vote for your favorite now by logging on WGBW.FM and click on Mino and the Mayor's Top Craft Pick. When you vote, you'll enter a random drawing to win $250 in gift cards from participating craft creators. Don't wait. Voting ends Friday, April 18th. Log on WGBW.FM and click on Mino and the Mayor's Top Craft Pick and vote right now. Mino and the Mayor's Top Craft Pick, drafting Northeast Wisconsin's finest one sip at a time.
I'm Dan Schaefer. Let's recombobulate. Folks, we've got to talk about Derek Van Orden. The second-term congressman representing Wisconsin's 3rd District is at it again, dodging public meetings and making all kinds of unhinged comments. As many scramble and struggle to understand the chaos of what's happening in Washington, D.C., and how it's impacting people here in Wisconsin, Van Orden has been as frustrating and disrespectful as ever. In one instance, Van Orden took to social media to berate a veteran who had been fired from his job at the VA by Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency. And the veteran in question is simply someone who was just reaching out to his congressman, looking for answers. Van Orden's office has also hastily canceled public meetings, and he has made some especially wild accusations about people who have been attending these public events. Congressman Van Orden needs to stop this unhinged madness, and more importantly, be more available and accountable to his constituents.
Find all.
That guy. Frank seemed like a really good guy. We'll have to have him back and we can. I got excited when I heard he did impressions, but then we kind of ran out of time. So next time we'll book him back for a little more time. We'll have him elaborate. Yeah, it was fun. So we got to catch up on some text here. Anna from Madison says, Conrad, I think you were thinking about the movie 27 Dresses.
Yes, I was.
Was that true?
Yep.
But what was that? That's not a reality
Because I was
show.
saying there was a Yes to the Dress movie.
Oh, Yes
but
to
it
the-
was 27 Dresses.
Oh, yeah, with Katherine Heigl. Right. Katherine Heigl was in a movie shot here in Madison years ago called something about Side Effects. I remember meeting the filmmaker here in Madison, and Katherine Heigl was in the film and was very good. And I was like, boy, you could kind of tell she was going places. Actually, the filmmaker's name was Kathleen Moscow, and she, I think, booked Katherine Heigl in the film. And during that time, she maybe was on Grey's. I don't know. There was something, but she was already kind of on her way. But Anna from Madison, I read that. Chris Casper says, the real lives of radio engineers. Will the phones work today? Did the internet go down? Did a tower fall over? And then parenthetically, really happened, says Chris Casper. I'm always amazed when I come to Madison and Chris is actually here and not out on the road somewhere fixing, like a cow ran over a transmitter or something. Very hardworking guy, Chris Casper. Somers was here too tonight. Did you say hi to Aaron?
Yeah.
A.A. Ron?
A.A. Ron.
It's always good to see those guys. And Sage was here. Sage was working. It's always nice when you're the CEO and you're like the last one to leave or one of the last guys to leave. Not that anybody's, going to give Sage a hard time about leaving early. Guy does what he wants. You kidding me? We'll snap your neck like a twig. He's the CEO, Conrad. Conrad doesn't know what to say. I don't want to jump in here because I don't want him to snap my neck. Sage is a great guy. That was fun at the party when everyone from Madison came up to Northeast Wisconsin. We all got to hang out at our Christmas party in March. Jameson from Pennsylvania. Now he's laughing. From the 814 says, I won't kill anyone, but might not know what to do with chicken liver mousse, fennel pollen, and baby octopus all at once. Crazy stuff. They do like that. Do they really? He says getting screamed at by Gordon on TV would be a lifetime highlight reel. Do you know what you're doing? You made this octopus into octopoop, but he uses the bad word. I got to start watching more of these food shows. I had no idea there was this kind of drama happening on a nightly basis. No kidding. Thanks for the text, Jameson. Sherry from Horicon says, I never saw it. She says, Ghost Hunters, I binge every night. All right, Sherry, you'll like to know this. Todd Michaels is going to be on the show next week, and we're going to talk about someone is out there claiming proof of aliens. So you might want to, not that those are ghosts, but, Todd kind of has a hobby of as a paranormal investigator. So we're going to have a fun discussion. That'll be one night next week, so you won't want to miss that, Sherry. Sherry also says, I'm sorry, I already read that. Brian from Milwaukee says, The Amazing Race. Oh, I forgot about that one. Been a big fan since the start. You can learn so much about cultures, customs, and traditions as you travel all over the world. Yeah, that's a good one, too. It's not like a running race. Like, you don't get winded. Right?
I don't think I've actually ever seen The Amazing Race.
You need to start watching more TV, Conrad.
I'm only watching MILF Manor, and that's it, all right?
And hopefully the many spinoffs that happen. Okay. So Mike Myers, folks, you forget about Mike Myers, but he's made some classics. Wayne's World, So I Married an Axe Murderer. He's made some really great films, and he's a really funny guy. And he was on Saturday Night Live 2 weeks in a row. And last week, he played Elon Musk in this skit where the president is berating Marco Rubio, and Musk walks in as Mike Myers, and he morphs into the Dr. Evil voice. So let's hear that now, Con.
Hi, it's me, tech support. Oh, just kidding.
Elon, I want to thank you for at least wearing a suit this time. Doesn't look great, right? Billionaire, but he shops at Joseph A. Bank. It's giving groomsman.
Good one, Donald. Good one. Glitch. Buffering. I'm back.
Never going to get used to that. Now, look, I can't have you two at each other's throats, okay? After all, I have a perfect record. Everyone who's ever worked for me has left on good terms and then gone on to write a book called The Man Who Ruined Everything. So you two need to start acting like mature adults, okay? So let's begin with Marco.
Polo.
No, Elon. I'm trying to talk to Marco.
Polo. What is that? What's this? He keeps doing this. What's this?
Nobody knows, okay? It's his little dance. We let him do it, all right? It's his least unsettling trick.
I can't believe this is the guy you've given access to the entire government. He's not an elected official. I know you are, but what am I?
Okay, whoa. Company! That's enough. If you're going to insult each other, at least make them good, okay? Something like, Elon, how do you have 20 kids, but I've never seen you with a chick? Just dudes named Donkey Dong and King, stuff like that. And here, watch this. Marco, short and gay, classic. But Elon, you got to listen to me, okay? Marco is a very important part of the team, and we all need to...
Phase 1 of my plan is complete. Ingratiate yourself to the president and take over the media. But was taking this job a bad idea? A lot of people seem to really hate me. My Tesla stock is crashing and my personal net worth just dropped by $100 billion.
And it's important, all right? So headlines from the meeting. 1, America's doing bad guy now. 2, Marco, get your budget under control. And 3, Elon, stay in your lane. You're not the boss.
But I paid you $300 million.
And that's why you're the boss. So we'll get out of your office right after we say this. Live from New York, it's Saturday night!
The Dr. Evil thing is kind of a visual thing, too, but I love when Mike Myers, as Musk says, glitch. like he's not even a real person and does the restart computer sound. Google it. It's very funny, folks. All right. Coming up next, we're going to talk some independent film and about a film festival that focuses on mental health. Really cool stuff with the festival founder and a filmmaker himself, Jeff Blankenship. That's coming up after Civic Media's news team tells you what's up. Thanks for being with me, folks. Great to have you. It's Pete Schwaba and Nite Lite on the Civic Media Radio Network.
From Denmark to De Pere, this is 97.9 WGBW. Local radio for you and your community. It's Civic Media's mission with stations across Wisconsin. Find your favorites at civicmedia.us.
For 97.9 WGBW News, I'm Lisa Hale. Last year's Democratic candidate for Congress in western Wisconsin is trying once again to win the seat. Civic Media's Jimmy Kuska has more.
Two-time congressional candidate Rebecca Cook is running again for Wisconsin's 3rd District. Cook, a Democrat, lost to Republican Derek Van Orden last fall by nearly 3 percentage points, but outperformed Democrats Kamala Harris and Tammy Baldwin on the ballot. She previously ran for the seat in 2022, losing in the primary to Brad Pfaff. Cook is the first person to announce their candidacy to challenge Van Orden. Eau Claire City Council President Emily Berg is also considering a run for Congress.
Cook, a former waitress, small business, and nonprofit leader, wants to be the voice for Wisconsin's working class. A certain type of vehicle is being targeted for theft in Milwaukee, and it's not the one you're thinking about. Stuart J. Waddles has more about the strange way you can stay safe these days.
If you own a Nissan, get yourself a nice metal box or some tinfoil. The recent rise in thefts of those vehicles in Milwaukee is said to be intercepted key fob data, with it now being recommended to cover up your key. Criminals are using a reprogramming tool to snag the signals from the air and make their own versions of your key. Milwaukee police say this type of theft has happened at least 9 times recently.
Meanwhile, a car was stolen in Winnebago County last week. And while that may not seem newsworthy, the fact that it was stolen from the Sheriff's Department parking lot is. Last week, a man dropped by the Winnebago County Sheriff's Office to pick something up. He left his car running while he ran inside. When he returned, his car was gone. Sheriff's Department officials believe a recently released inmate may have taken the car. They remind people to never leave their car running while unattended, even for a minute, even in the cop shop parking lot. I'm Lisa Hale, 97.9 WGBW News.
On your entertainment beat, I'm Pete Schwaba. I was very excited to see Bong Joon-ho's new film, Mickey 17. After big wins on Oscar night 5 years ago, which saw him bring home the Best Director and Best Picture Oscar for Parasite, Joon-ho took a big swing with a big budget on Mickey 17. The film stars Robert Pattinson as Mickey, who is on his 17th life, who tries to figure out if creatures on an ice-covered planet are friends or foes. He uses an annoying voice the entire film, but the film does have a nice message. Ultimately, Mickey 17 was pretty tough to get through. James Bond passed away in 2021 in the film No Time to Die. But did you honestly think that would stop studios from making more Bond movies? Despite speculation that there would be a female Bond, multiple sources report that it is not happening, and 007 will stay male and British. The search continues for who will play 007. Personally, I think it might be time for a chubby Bond who has halitosis and can't get girls. For more showbiz fun, tune in to Nite Lite with me, Pete Schwaba, weeknights from 6 to 8 p.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Your news, conversations, and a whole lot of fun. It's all on your local Civic Media radio station or the Civic Media app.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Tonight, mostly cloudy, a low in the upper 20s. For tomorrow, sunshine returns and warmer. Highs to the low 50s. And into the upper 50s and partly to mostly sunny Thursday. Mid-60s Friday with showers and storms late and breezy.
Currently, it's 37.
The Maggie Dawn Show.
Can our NATO allies continue to rely on the United States under President Trump? What is your take, Professor Barrington?
The conversation had been going into Friday. Can Europe just get a seat at the table for these negotiations? The right question now is, can Europe build a new table? And I think that's where they are. February 28th, 2025 is going to be remembered as, I think, a pretty key date.
The Maggie Dawn Show. Weekdays from 2 till 4 on your local Civic Media radio station and on the Civic Media app. The Todd Alba Show.
Trump and Vance verbally assaulted the president of Ukraine, an ally of the U.S. Trump defending the president of Russia, a known dictator. This is a complete capitulation to our sworn enemies. And it's time for Republicans, my former party that I left in 2011, to speak the hell up. Because if we don't, it's not going to be long before we don't have anything left to defend.
The Todd Alba Show. Weekdays noon till 2 on your local Civic Media radio station and on the app. Dom Selvia.
Next time.
Hey, this is John Grise, also Uncle Rico, and you're listening to Nightlight with Pete Schwaba.
Gonna be some sweet sounds coming down on the night shift.
All right. Tomorrow night on the show, ladies and gentlemen, comedian Mary Mack will be here. Mary is going to make the popcorn pick of the week. We had Mary on a few months ago. She lives up in northern Wisconsin and somehow writes for all these animated TV shows. She's an incredible talent, very funny, and she'll be here Thursday night. Did I say tomorrow night, Conrad? I did, Jeff.
You did,
I say
yeah.
Tomorrow? All
Tomorrow's
right.
a little different.
Big time faux pas. We'll get to that. But that's Thursday night, folks, for the popcorn pick of the week. And then Appleton-based comedian Rob Brackenridge will be in the studio. So we got a lot. Thursday night is going to be a lot of laughs. Conrad, have you ever laughed so hard you cried?
Definitely, I have.
Okay. That wasn't really that convincing.
Did you want an example or something?
No. Just have some Kleenex ready. We're going to laugh a lot on Thursday. And then tomorrow night, we have a special episode. It's only going to be an hour long. We're coming on after political coverage. It's a shortened show, so we've chosen to celebrate the Day of the Dude, which is in honor of Jeffrey Lebowski, the movie The Big Lebowski, which happened a few days ago. But we're finally getting to our celebration. Greg Liana will be on the show tomorrow night to discuss that. He is the founder of the Meet the Parents franchise. And we've already talked to Greg, so I can say this. We thought he was going to bring Tara Reid, Bunny Lebowski, but she couldn't make it, unfortunately. But Greg is a lot of fun to talk to and loves that movie, and it'll be a lot of fun. That's tomorrow night from 7 to 8, just an hour of Nightlight tomorrow. Right now, I'm excited to welcome my next guest. He is a filmmaker himself and a film festival founder, and we'll talk to him about that too, because his film festival has a really cool theme. He joins me now in the studio. Jeff Blankenship. Jeff, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks. How are you?
Thank you for making the drive into Madison from the burbs.
Yep.
Right?
But I work on the west side, so it wasn't so bad.
So you do this drive every day?
Yep.
You already drove home and then you came back?
No, I stayed.
You stayed?
I stayed.
Did you get a nice hot meal?
Yeah, it was fine.
Okay.
I helped a friend with a computer problem, so
Oh.
I had plenty to do.
All right. Yeah. There you go. Well, it's great to have you here. It's nice to meet you. Do you have I assume since you're a filmmaker, you're not into reality TV, but do you have a reality TV show that if you had to be on it, you would be on it? If someone said, Jeff, you have to be on a reality TV show, which one would you pick? Not that any of them are great.
I am not let me think about that.
I said
one.
The Bachelor. I think you could double up on that one if you wanted, just because you'd have 20 or 30 women wanting to learn more about you.
Yeah, my wife might have a few things to say about that, but
my wife is responsible for this question tonight, so it's her fault.
maybe maybe in my younger days, the 90 Day Fiance.
Oh, I don't remember that one.
Oh, that's a good one.
Wait, Conrad, is that the one you were talking about?
Yeah, that's the TLC show.
Yeah.
The Learning Channel.
You learn a lot from that.
It's very educational. What was the other show that was on the Learning Channel? Was that MILF Manor?
Yeah.
Oh, what happened to the Learning Channel? That's what that's not that you don't learn stuff, but you could take some time to think about that.
Okay.
If you want that to be your final answer, though, that's fine. But tell us a little bit about this really cool film festival you created or co-created, Jeff. I just think it's great. The Mental Health Warrior Film Festival.
Yeah, so let me clarify a couple of things about it. The festival itself was the idea and brainchild of Max Blaska that I think you've met before.
We've had him on the show, yeah.
So Max's idea came out of his desire, and it's called Mental Health Warrior, his desire to bring awareness and outreach to mental health issues, to destigmatize these issues that people have,
right,
and try to do it through the use of art and film and music and other things. So one of his vehicles was to get the rights to a Stephen King film to produce, and he asked me to direct the film. So I was part of the film, the direction of the film, and then he wanted to use this Mental Health Warrior Film Festival to launch this film and others in the same area of concern.
Very interesting. Okay, I didn't know those two were necessarily related. So the film festival is called the Mental Health Warrior Film Festival. Have you had one?
Yes.
Okay, so you had your kind of inaugural
The first
festival.
one was last spring.
Okay, and you have one this year
And then
too?
there's one this
All
year,
right, so tell us about what's on the agenda this year.
Yeah, it's grown. Again, this is Max and Kurt primarily.
Okay.
Kind of on the periphery of the details of it.
Okay.
But I think he's got 30 films.
Wow.
And quite a few online submissions he's going to have. So it'll be, I think, easily twice as large as it was last year. Plus
No kidding.
A streaming option as well.
Yeah. Is it on, and is it at Flick's Brew House?
At
Is
Flick's
that
Brew
where you-
House.
Oh, great
Yep.
venue.
It's a great venue. The films that were there last year are all top quality, top-notch films.
So you are not one of the founders.
I am not.
Oh.
I was not of the festival itself. That
Okay.
was Max's creative touch.
Okay.
But he used the film that I directed as kind
Gotcha.
of the anchor film for the
Okay.
project.
So to me, you founded.
Okay, fair enough. We'll go with that.
Well, it's either
Well-
got to be that, because that's the research I did, Jeff, or it's going to be me going, what was middle school for you
We've
like?
got
Jeff?"
we've got nothing else to talk about.
Well, we've got stuff to talk about because you've made a lot of films. I did want to ask you, okay, so the film is The Last Rung on the Ladder.
Correct.
Tell us how that happened, because I've talked about it with Kurt before, but not from the standpoint of the director.
We're actually already talking about pre-production for the making of The Last Rung on the Ladder because the experience was simply phenomenal. Max called me one day and said, you were recommended as a director to me. I knew Max. Max and I were friends. We had worked on one small project in the past, a 48-hour project. And he said, I'm doing this project, Stephen King Dollar Baby program, and I'm rewriting the script. Would you want to direct it? And I said, sure. And the first thing I said to him, I said, Max, this sounds like a great project. I read the script that he had. I said, the first thing you need is a producer. I said, I'm not a producer. I said, I know the producer role,
Yeah.
and I can guide you, but we need a boots on the ground producer.
Nice.
And he was looking, and I was kind of looking, and we weren't finding a producer. And I tried to start to produce it just to get things off the ground, and that wasn't going great. I mean, again, I know what to do, but getting
Sure.
it done are two different things. And we were just on the edge of, because there's a time limit. You've got to create the film within a window.
Okay.
You don't have unlimited time. And he had spent a fair amount of time writing and rewriting the script. So the clock had been ticking for a long time. So I called him and I said, Max, I think we're starting to run into a little problem. We're running out of time. I said, I've got one last thing for you to try. I said, well, we've got a mutual filmmaker friend. Her name's Melanie. I said, call Melanie. I said, Melanie knows everybody. I said, she may be able to produce it, or she may know somebody who can produce it. I said, that's the last thing I can think of.
Okay.
So she did. She called Melanie. Melanie happened to be driving in her car at that moment with Kurt Krause, who you know.
Yeah.
She talked up the film. She had talked to Max about the film previously. She talked it up to Kurt and convinced Kurt to do it. And within weeks, we were shooting.
Wow, nice.
Just like that.
It all just fell together.
It all
came together.
It all came together.
So and what it was, okay, so you as a director, you've got material from Stephen King.
Yep.
That's got to be kind of pressure. Like Kurt has been around. He's a very talented guy as an actor. Did he have experience producing? Did you feel comfortable directing this material? I mean, that had to come with some responsibility, right?
It did.
Yeah.
I was very comfortable with Kurt. I mean,
Yeah.
this thing was off the ground in 2 seconds. He's
Yeah,
like, we're
he's a
shooting.
doer.
We're shooting these 2 days. Here's your crew. Here's your cast. I mean, well, we had picked the cast together. I had picked the location. I had a lot of these things kind of lined up.
Okay.
But he toppled the dominoes and off we went. But yeah, I read the original story that Stephen King wrote. Is from 1978 Night Shift series called The Last Rung on the Ladder. I read the original, and then I read Kurt and Carla S. Bryant's adaptation of the film, their script, their screenplay version of it, and I really liked it. And I started thinking about it. There were a couple of things in the story that I was rethinking, as I do.
Right.
And that's a whole story in itself in terms of what I did on set with the story. The storyline for me was a little bit too linear. It didn't feel as Stephen King-esque as I wanted it to be. And so I did change up a sequence of events that happened from this original story to what I did in the film.
And you have license to do, like, when you get this project for $1, you can do whatever you want with it?
Pretty much.
Oh, that's nice. That's
Now,
some creative freedom.
It is. Now, Max wanted to stay pretty true to the Stephen King version, but it was not a literal interpretation.
Okay.
But the story is the same. It's a story about two siblings who become estranged.
We have I just don't mean to interrupt you,
Yep.
but we have the poster. I love this poster. If you're watching on the stream, it's called The Last Rung on the Ladder. We've put the poster in the stream. That is a great poster, Jeff.
Yeah,
that does Stephen King justice, I think. That's like better than a movie or big studio poster, you know.
That poster design credit goes to Dave Burke
Nice.
from Oshkosh. He's a photographer. He did a lot of our behind-the-scenes photography on the film.
So that's a picture?
That's actually an AI-generated image.
Okay.
Now, I couldn't get it to generate like that. So he knew some magic that I didn't know, but based on how I discussed it with him, I'd mock some things up, and he said, here, try
Okay.
this. I'm like, oh, there it is.
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. That's great. So I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I
that's
wanted
okay.
people to see that, though,
Yeah.
to help get the movie out there a little bit.
So interpreting the story, I kind of have my own process. I've got to feel it. I've got to understand the story. And so that was the major change that I made. There was another part of it. Part of it was the length of the film, of the screenplay.
Okay.
One of them, so there's two main characters, Larry Gatlin and Kitty Gatlin. They're siblings. The characters span 3 phases of their life: when they're children, when they're teenagers, and then when they're adults. There was a little bit of a missing part of the story because we didn't have a lot of backstory on Kitty.
Okay.
There's just some presumption about what happened to her, but there's not enough. There wasn't enough for me to justify what she does. So kind of on the fly, when we were shooting in Land O'Lakes, we established some new scenes for her as a backstory.
Oh, nice.
And those were great. We did them kind of on
You
the
shot
fly.
Land O'Lakes?
We did.
Nice.
I used to live in that area. I lived in Green Bay.
Okay.
And it just so happens that I was friends with the owners of a hotel in Land O'Lakes who had a balcony that we thought we were going to need for the shoot. And so I said, can we shoot at your hotel and use the hotel as a scene? And they said yes. So then at that point, we then shot 4 different scenes, 5 different scenes in Land O'Lakes at the hotel, in a local diner that we just took over and created a scene on the fly. In the Gateway Lodge, we did a bar scene and a scene in the hallway, all kind of improv.
That is really cool. I didn't know you shot in Land O'Lakes. I remember Curtis told me about this, and he was so enthusiastic about the project. He said it was great. He talked about how great it was working with you. When you, I see the budget on IMDb Pro. I don't ever know if that's accurate or not, because I think people guesstimate. Regardless, whether or not it is, you have to raise money for an independent film. Was it easier to do that? I don't know if you had anything to do with that, but you have material from Stephen King. Did that make it easier to find some funds?
What did help was certainly the name of the writer of the project, and Max's goal and vision really helped, because people wanted to support his cause.
Right.
So that absolutely did help. I would say that I've talked to other filmmakers, LA-based filmmakers, tell them about the project or they've seen it, and they would estimate that our budget was 10 times what it was.
That's so great.
Based on what they saw.
When you can put it on the screen like that, that's fantastic. My guest is Jeff Blankenship. He's the director of The Last Rung on the Ladder. a short film that was made with our friend Kirk Krause, too, and Max Blaska, who has been a previous guest on the show. We're talking about that, and we'll have a few more minutes with Jeff when we come back after this very short break. Do not go anywhere, folks. Help us close this down. This is Pete Schwaba and Nightlight on the Civic Media Radio Network. Not that it never will, but that year.
This is the talk of Green Bay, WGBW.
Appleton Cigar Company on College Avenue has been serving the community for over 25 years. If you are a cigar aficionado looking for a one-of-a-kind experience, you need to check out Appleton Cigar, which boasts the largest selection of cigars north of Milwaukee with over 706 cigars to choose from in a walk-in humidor. The Cigar Lounge offers an impressive variety of spirits and cocktails that pair perfectly with a premium cigar. For the full experience, come to Appleton Cigar at 415 College Ave, Monday through Saturday, 11:30 a.m. to 10:30 p.m. For more information, go to appletoncigar.com.
This statement has not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
When it comes to my lifestyle and diet, I don't always make the smartest choices.
Touchdown! Woo! Hey, how about another round and some more chips?
But when it comes to taking care of my liver, I do make one very smart choice. Active liver tablets from New Nordic. I used to have real issues with my liver, and at my last checkup, my doc was concerned about my numbers. But since adding a once-a-day active liver tablet, my gut's better, I feel great, and my doctor's happy. I ask a lot of my liver, so the least I can do to say thanks is a daily dose of active liver.
You ask a lot of your liver, so give it the support it needs with Active Liver. You can find Active Liver at Amazon.com, or for a volume discount, visit NewNordicUSA.com. Go to new, NORDICUSA.com, Amazon, or ask for Active Liver at your local CVS. New year, new you, New Nordic.
Matt Nair on air.
Will Westmoreland is joining us now. He is a farmer in southwestern Missouri.
This is an 80-20 Republican area down here. You can't throw a rock without hitting a Republican. And I still know all the guys I graduated with. So I always ask, don't admit you were wrong, just admit you were lied to. That's a lot easier to do. If you just admit you were lied to, you can get over here with us and start working to fight the problem.
Matt.
Well, if the project ever goes, maybe I'll.
You can't go wrong with
her. Welcome back. We are doing the Madison thing tonight, folks. It's great to be in Madison tonight. I know we have a lot of great listeners here. Sherry from Horicon says, love Todd Michaels. Who doesn't, Sherry? You won't want to miss that. Todd is so much fun to talk to about paranormal stuff. It's just great. And we'll let you know what night that is. Chris Casper also says, saw her in Mineral Point, and she was amazing. Conrad, help.
The girl from 27 Dresses?
Katherine Heigl? Is that who Chris was talking about? I can't think of who else.
I'll have to look it up. I'll have to go to the Google.
He saw her in Mineral Point. She could have been there on a shopping spree. You know, those stores in L.A. with all their variety, that gets old.
Yeah.
Mineral Point, they'll send you cab fare to shop there, right? Mineral Point is a beautiful town. They've got that. Have you been there? That little opera house?
Yep.
Oh, man.
We've done film festivals there.
Yeah, I was in a movie years ago called Aquarians, and they had a showing there, and the filmmaker invited me to go there. And I was like, when I did stand-up, I used to drive through Mineral Point from Madison, to Iowa.
Yep.
And I was like, this is such a gorgeous town. It is. And then when I was there for that film festival, that opera house is like the most charming, beautiful little building. So love Mineral Point. That's awesome. Jeff Blankenship is my guest. We're talking about his film, The Last Rung on the Ladder, that he directed, produced by Kirk Krause, a mutual friend of ours and a guy who's been on the show several times. Jeff, is there, I assume there's a mental health aspect to The Last Rung on the Ladder. I still have not seen it.
Oh, well, you have to see it.
Okay.
Sure. Oh, yeah, it's incredible.
Where can I see it?
It'll be down here in Madison at well, I shouldn't say that. I don't know. I hope that Max will show it again at the festival.
Mental health.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's going to be in Green Bay this weekend.
Oh, right, at the Green Bay Film Festival. Yeah. That is a neat little film
It
festival.
is.
I have not been there yet, but I've talked to the festival director and some people who've had films there, and it sounds like just a really great little festival.
So we'll be showing on Saturday.
Will you be there?
I will be there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay. I think, do you like Q&As after
I do.
films? They're
I do.
fun, aren't they?
I love them.
Yeah. That's kind of what I'm doing right now to you.
Right.
And you seem like you really love talking about your stuff, and that's so great.
I do.
Yeah.
And when people ask questions, that means they're paying attention and it's touched them at some level and they're really interested. So I really enjoy that.
We've got some comments on the stream. Craig Anthony Knitt, who I assume you know.
I know Craig
It's a very tight-knit film community here in Wisconsin, and I love that you guys all know each other. I'm curious, which of Jeff's films is his favorite?
Well, this one pretty much.
Okay.
There's so many parts of this film. All the films I've done I really enjoyed. This one has a real special meaning, not only for the cause that Max is promoting, but the way the cast and crew came together. It was a flawless shoot. We shot in 5 cities, 7 days. Cast and crew, we had children on set. We had safety issues. Everything went off without a hitch.
Nice.
It was just an incredible experience. What we accomplished, overcame, and delivered. It was just an incredible experience.
That's so great. Jeremy Thompson, also known as JB, I call him the guy behind the guy.
Yeah.
He says, nice work. Jeff, great explanation. I agree.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, JB. And then Craig also says, also is Last Rung on the Ladder playing in Green Bay on Saturday.
Is.
He's leading you there. He
It is.
knows.
Yeah, Craig knows me.
He wants you. He's helping you, right?
Yeah, Craig and I go way back.
Craig's a
Actually,
good dude.
I met Kurt Krause through the Wildwood Festival.
Oh, yeah.
That Craig and Jason used to run.
That's excellent.
And Craig is the cousin of a guy I went to high school with.
Wow. I know. I've met more people since I've been doing this show that have some connection to Craig Knitt.
Yeah.
Or Terry Barr, who works here at Civic
Okay.
Media, and all these people that he's like the most popular guy in the world,
He's
apparently.
out there. Yeah.
I was looking at your IMDb page, Jeff. You've done a ton of shorts. Like, you're a very
have.
prolific filmmaker.
Yeah.
Have you done a feature?
No. We are talking about possibly doing this as a feature.
Okay.
We're investigating if those rights are
Seems
attainable.
like it's perfect for that.
It would
right?
be
I mean,
awesome.
so let me ask you this. As a filmmaker, why do you always go for, have you had a desire to do a feature, or is it just easier to shoot shorts?
Both.
Both. Okay.
The scaling up from a short to a feature is significant.
Sure.
It's not linear. So if Last Ride on the Ladder is 25 minutes, making it 50 minutes or 65 minutes is not twice the effort. It's probably 10 times the effort.
How about that? Wow.
The budget alone, every day, every shooting day, you're feeding people. The expenses become challenging. And then how many shooting days can you fit if people are working other jobs? And it becomes a challenge.
Have you ever had that where people just go, I can't, I have to work? I would imagine that would be tough for people that,
With this film, it was flawless.
Yeah.
We had shooting days in the middle of the week, and everybody, we never had anybody drop. It was perfect, but that is challenging. Yes.
Will you, let's say it plays at this festival again, or if it doesn't, will you put it on YouTube or Vimeo? Will you guys find a way for people to see it?
We have some restrictions about how it can be used.
because it's Stephen King.
Right.
That's maybe the downside, is trying to get it seen.
Correct. So
Okay.
it's kind of funny. You want it seen. They
Yeah.
want it seen. So primarily festival. I don't know ultimately what the rule becomes.
Okay.
The program has been ended, so some of those restrictions might be lifted. Not sure.
Great stuff. Hey, real quick, when is
Yeah.
the Mental Health Warrior Film Festival this year?
I believe it's either the first or second weekend in May, and I didn't have that in front of me, but it's in the beginning of May.
At Flicks Brew House here in
Brew House,
Madison.
yep.
Check it out. It focuses on mental health. It's just a great. I just love it. It's like it's the only thing I've ever heard of like that. So
and every film that's shown is an inspiration to the cause. It's really strong.
outstanding.
Yeah.
Jeff, thank you so much.
Thank
Good
you.
luck with the film. And good luck at the festival. Film festivals are great. Thank you also to Frank Roach and help me, Connor. Tim Sowers, our friend Tim Sowers. Thank you for all your texts. How could I forget Tim? We'll be back tomorrow night in shortened form. Have a great night. On behalf of the lovable producer, Conrad, good night, Wisconsin.